And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the heart of the Inland Empire, right here in sunny Southern California, it's Robert Cardoza Live, where we talk about politics, money, and you. This is the intersection of business and politics. And now here's your host, Robert Cardoza.
And welcome aboard. I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to the intersection of business and politics right here on Robert Cardoza Live, where I do an honest, unbiased analysis of the issues confronting you today that affect the decisions that you're going to make for both your personal and your business life. I come to you every Monday through Friday on Spreaker Radio, Roar, 1776 Radio, and MyCast Live Radio from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific Time, and also on 405 Media Radio Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Pacific Time. Also, the Pundit Press, PNN Talk Radio, and SHR Media Radio with the Conservative Syndicate Mondays and Fridays from 3:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. Pacific Time, in addition to countless terrestrial stations worldwide. Please follow me on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, Podomatic, and YouTube, where you can listen to all of my shows 24/7. Go to my website at www.robertcardozalive.com for archives of all my radio and television shows, and you can access my show live right from my website each day simply by clicking on that icon labeled Listen Live. Email me at robertcardozalive@gmail.com is where you get all the emails I deal with here on the show. And you can call into my show if you want to comment or just engage me in conversation about anything. Just dial directly into the studio at 909-545-6516. Again, that number, 909-545-6516. Now, on today's show, we're going to discuss what's in the news, new legislation, the IRS loses, and I'm going to answer your emails just like I always do. On today's special segments, John Matthews and Joe Hakos will be talking about the Conservative Syndicate. You know what? We're going to talk about how you manipulate currency, specifically about China today. And we also present David Garrett on the law. But right now, I want you to stand by for news. But first off, I want you to know that at 3:03 p.m. Pacific Time, it is currently 80 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, you know what? I want to give you the news, but I'm going to encapsulate the top 10 items in the news right now, and then we're going to get more in depth. And there's a lot of news to deal with, so let's get right to it. The 10 things that you need to know for Friday. Your daily look at late-breaking news, upcoming events, and the stories that'll be talked about all day today, Friday, and tomorrow as well. First off, Kurdish forces advance against extremists in Iraq. Backed by U.S.-led airstrikes, the fighters gained ground in a major offensive to retake the strategic town of Sinjar from the Islamic State group, and Russia is owning up to doping problems. The head of Russia's track Federation tells the Associated Press that he is ready to admit to some of the charges leveled against his country's athletes. Well, an aging mobster is acquitted in a 1978 heist retold in Goodfellas. It's a stunning defeat for the federal government, which tried to link 80-year-old Vincent Asaro to the legendary $6 million holdup at the Lufthansa terminal at Kennedy Airport. And who's trying to outmaneuver Trump on immigration? Well, Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz are both fighting to reshape their records on immigration and appeal to conservative GOP primary voters. Well, the twin suicide bombings killed dozens in Lebanon. The deadly attacks in the suburban Beirut are quickly claimed by the Islamic State group. And then, new president picked to lead the university through a turbulent time. Michael Middleton, 68 years old, has spent 3 decades in the University of Missouri system after becoming one of the first blacks to graduate from its law school. And Secret Service officer charged with trying to solicit a minor. Unbeknownst to Lee Robert Moore, 37 years old, the person he thought was a 14-year-old girl was actually an undercover Delaware police officer, authorities say. And why Utah is challenging court ruling on foster child? The state says it disagrees with a judge who decided to take a baby from lesbian parents and, for the child's well-being, place her with a heterosexual couple. And then, feds want smoking ban in public housing. The proposed rule, not only in common areas, but inside apartments as well, would expand existing bans to nearly 1 million more homes in the United States. And then finally, which religious treasures are being auctioned? Well, thousands of items from the world's most important private library and Hebrew books and manuscripts, including the first printing of the Talmud in Venice in the 1520s, will be up for sale in New York. Well, you know what? Now let's talk about some stuff in depth, and we've got some serious things going on. From the police department, at least 26 are dead in Paris, a hostage-taking in theater. You know, two police officials said at least 26 people have been killed in shootings and explosions around Paris today in the deadliest violence in France in decades. A police official said 11 people were killed in a Paris restaurant in the 10th arrondissement, and among 15 killed in the Bataclan Theater, where a hostage-taking is underway. Both officials spoke on condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to be publicly named, according to police policy. Also late Friday, two explosions were heard outside the Stade de France, the stadium, north of Paris, during a France-Germany friendly football match. It is unclear if the explosions were linked to other events. A police official confirmed one explosion in a bar near the stadium. It is unclear whether there are casualties. An Associated Press reporter in the stadium Friday night heard two explosions loud enough to penetrate the sounds of cheering fans. Sirens were immediately heard, and a helicopter was circling overhead. The official spoke on condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to be publicly named. The attack comes as France has heightened security measures ahead of a major global climate conference that starts in 2 weeks, out of fear of violent protests and potential terrorist attacks. Well, guess, you know what? It's not a potential terrorist attack. This is definitely a terrorist attack. Well, Russia's track federation suspended by governing body of the IAAF. You know what? Russia's track and field federation was suspended from international competition today, leaving it in danger of missing next year's Olympics in Brazil unless the country cleans up its act on doping. The provisional suspension was approved by a 22-1 vote during the teleconference of the ruling council of the International Association of Athletics Federation. It's the first time the IAAF has ever banned a country over its doping record. IAAF President Sebastian Coe convened the meeting after Russia was accused of widespread systematic cheating in a report released Monday by a World Anti-Doping Agency commission. This has been a shameful wake-up call, and we are clear that cheating at any level will not be tolerated, Coe said after a meeting that lasted nearly 3.5 hours. Coe was under heavy pressure to take tough action despite efforts by Russian officials to avoid a blanket ban by agreeing to cooperate and make reforms in their anti-doping system. It is the strongest sanction that we could apply tonight, he said. It is why our council has been sent such a strong message. Now, do not go away, because when we come back, I'm going to talk to you about the United States is reasonably certain that Jihadi John is dead. Hallelujah, brother. And I'll tell you all about that right after these brief messages. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Leinberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchase high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson & Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson & Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson & Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson & Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And you know what? Let's talk about the military right now. The United States is reasonably certain that Jihadi John is dead. Hallelujah, brother. The United States military is reasonably certain its drone strike in Syria killed the masked Islamic State militant known as Jihadi John, who appeared in several videos depicting the beheadings of Western hostages. But families of the hostages brutally killed last year said his presumed death is little solace. Army Colonel Steve Warren, U.S. military spokesman in Baghdad, told reporters today that officials had been following Mohammed Imwazi, a Kuwaiti-born British citizen, for some time. The intelligence indicators that we had gave us great confidence that this individual was Jihadi John, and when the opportunity presented itself, with the opportunity for minimal civilian casualties, we took the shot. Warren said. The guy was a human animal, and killing him is probably making the world a little bit better place. Hallelujah. I heard that. I'm certainly not going to shed any tears for this guy. He is nothing more than an animal. Matter of fact, a whole lot less. Well, Kurdish forces recapture militant-held towns in Iraq and Syria. This came in 1 hour ago, dealing a double blow today to the Islamic State group. Iraqi Kurdish forces pushed into the strategic town of Sinjar in northern Iraq, and a coalition of Arab, Christian, and Kurdish rebel factions recaptured another town from the militants across the border in Syria. The Kurdish forces raised their flag in the center of Sinjar, and a top official said it was liberated, although U.S. and Kurdish military officials urged caution in declaring victory in a major offensive. The fighters encountered little resistance, at least initially, suggesting that many of the IS militants may have pulled back in anticipation of the advance. It was also possible that they could be biding their time before striking back. The offensive to retake Sinjar was launched Thursday by the Kurdish militia fighters known as the Peshmerga forces, and they succeeded in cutting key nearby highways and retaking more than 150 kilometers, that's about 60 square miles, of territory from the Islamic State group. Airstrikes by a U.S.-led coalition supported the offensive, dubbed Operation Free Sinjar. Makes sense to me. So is this just a one-time gain and we're going to have to lose it again, or are we going to keep this one this time? Well, how about this? Beware, too good to be true personal stories from the 2016 trail. Presidential candidates invariably have an engaging story to tell about where they came from and how. Sometimes these stories are even true. Often, though, these tales get embellished, whether because of human nature, fuzzy memory, or pure political calculation. No, Hillary Clinton didn't dodge sniper fire in Bosnia, as she claimed in a previous campaign. Yes, Marco Rubio's parents came from Cuba, but not to flee Fidel Castro's regime. And now, Ben Carson's account of his past is being sharply challenged by a look-who's-talking rival, Donald Trump. Some candidate narratives are rock solid. Others fall apart on closer inspection, and many fall somewhere in between, a little bit cockeyed or requiring the addition of subtraction of a key detail or two. If you're going to err, you are probably going to err on the side of advancing your own cause, and that's true for everybody, says Stanley Rinshawn, a political psychologist at City University in New York. As Trump wrote in one of his books, a little hyperbole never hurts. Well, you can say that again. Everybody's good at it. Nobody wants to be blamed for it. That's for sure. Sort of like, not in my backyard, right? Sure. Well, a Utah judge reverses an order to take a baby from a lesbian couple. A Utah judge reversed his decision to take a baby girl from her lesbian foster parents and place her with a heterosexual couple after his ruling caused widespread backlash, but child welfare officials say the change could be temporary. In an order released Friday, or today I should say, Judge Scott Johnson allowed the 9-month-old baby to stay for now with April Hoagland and Becky Pierce, a married couple from the city of Price. It comes after Johnson said in court Tuesday that the baby should be removed from the couple's home within a week. Utah officials and the couple filed court challenges demanding that he rescind that order. Ashley Summer, spokeswoman for the Utah Division of Child and Family Services, said the agency is cautiously optimistic and relieved, but Johnson's decision still leaves open the possibility that he could order the child removed at a December 4th custody hearing. That's what she said anyway. We're moving in the right direction, but it's not the final answer, Sumner said. In his first ruling, Johnson mentioned research that said children raised by heterosexual families do better and that same-sex marriages have double the rate of instability as heterosexual marriages. Well, time will tell. We don't have an awful lot to say about it, right? At this point, it's the judges that are going to make the decision. Hope they make the right one. Well, a big nomination lead for Clinton, pocketing superdelegates. You know, there is little doubt which candidate the Democratic Party establishment supports for president. It's not even close. Hillary Rodham Clinton has locked up public support from half of the Democratic insiders who will cast ballots at the party's national convention, giving her a big head start in securing the nomination more than 2 months before primary voters start going to the polls. Clinton's margin over Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders and former Maryland Governor Martin O'Malley is especially notable because most of the people known as superdelegates don't usually back candidates so early in the race. She has the experience necessary not only to lead this country, she has experience politically that I think will help her through a tough campaign, said Unzel Kelly, a county commissioner from Alabama. I think she's learned from her previous campaign, he said. She's learned what to do, what to say, what not to say, and which just adds to her electability. Now, do not go away, because when we come back, we're going to deal with the IRS loses. And the first case up is a husband escapes the tax on his wife's income from a scam. I'll tell you all about it right after these brief messages. Do not go away.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make the interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
The story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Oh yeah, here we are, my favorite part of the show, the IRS loses. And we got some great cases for you today. Let's get right to them. The first case up is a husband escapes tax on his wife's income that she got from a scam. Let me tell you about it. Jack Iller's wife was a cashier at an airport parking lot who joined other employees in a scam that stole from it, stealing $90,000 herself, just by herself. Now, the money was not reported on the joint tax return that she filed with Jack, and eventually the scam was discovered. She was convicted, she and Jack divorced, and the IRS tried to collect tax from Jack on the unreported income. He protested that he had known nothing about the scam, but the IRS said that he had known about the unreported income. So they went to court. This is what the judge said. Jack said that he didn't know about the income. His wife said that he had known about the income, but not about her scam. Jack's testimony was the more credible, so he escapes the tax. Just makes sense, doesn't it? It's just common sense is all it is. How about this case? The IRS loses. Lawsuit settlement wasn't changed to evade the tax. Here's the case. David Jones owned a car dealership, sued his distributor, and received a large settlement for all claims. But soon afterwards, the lawyers changed its terms to make it for his personal injuries, which was always the intent. Now, damages for personal injuries are tax-free, so Jones didn't report them as income. Later, he filed for bankruptcy, but the IRS said that his taxes were not dischargeable because the change in the settlement was made to evade taxes. He went to court. This is what the judge said. The IRS admitted that Jones actually had suffered personal injuries, and he credibly testified that he believed the entire settlement was for them. So there was no attempt to evade the tax. The IRS loses. We should all go out and have a martini and celebrate. That's what I'm thinking. How about this? The IRS loses. They cannot force a change of courts. Sounds innocent enough. But listen, Joyce Rainier sued the IRS in the Court of Federal Claims for a refund of employment tax assessment that she had paid. In response, the IRS filed a case against her and her partner in district court to collect even more of the tax that it had assessed against them 8 years earlier. Now, if asked to have the first case suspended, saying that the second was more efficient since it covered both parties who could owe the tax, possibly saving another court case. Now, Rainier wanted the second case suspended. This is what the judge said. If the IRS was concerned about efficiency, it could have filed its own case sometime within the prior 8 years before Rainier filed hers. The first case continues. The second case is suspended. That's exactly what you'd expect to have happen. That's exactly what should happen. That's exactly what did happen. Now, you've heard me talk about being a fly on the wall when the IRS is doing stuff. Well, that's what we're talking about right now when we talk about inside the IRS. Okay, so you know what? Let's get right to it inside the IRS. You know, in this particular case, let's talk about the Freedom of Information Act. You know, it actually permits you to ask the IRS for copies of all documents in its possession relating to your audit examination or collection proceeding. The request is made by addressing a letter to the local disclosure office of the IRS and identifying the documents that you actually want. Now, a request should be made for all documents in your possession relating to a specific matter. But there's some problems here. Sometimes disclosure office caseworkers will tell you that the documents that you've requested are not available, even though they really are. The best approach here is speak to a manager and ask him or her to review the case because it appears that information that you've requested has been omitted. You know, a lot of times that's going to happen. These managers are not going to let the IRS falsely get away with these kinds of things. Now, let me deal with one more here before we go on our break. Make sure that it's in writing when dealing with the IRS. You know, creating a written record is very important if you later need to prove either that you took a certain action or that someone at the IRS was supposed to remedy a problem. Let me give you an example. Let's just say you filed an amended return reflecting a refund but did not receive a check within 90 days. What do? You send the IRS a letter setting forth the date that you filed the amended return and requesting that the process the return and send you a check. Also in the letter, ask the IRS to confirm that it received the amended return. Now, failure to create such a written record, especially if you did not send the return by certified or registered mail, will make it difficult, even impossible, to prove that you filed the return should the deadline for filing pass without the refund actually showing up. Now, I mean, these are important issues, folks, so you want to make sure that you're dealing with these. And you know what? I want you to know that we're going to go on a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to be talking to our own John Matthews and Joe Hakos in his Conservative Syndicate Corner. We're doing a simulcast. We do this every Monday and Friday from 3:30 to 4 o'clock. And we want you to, you know, there'll be a couple of wrinkles going on, but we want you to pay attention to what's happening here. You'll be glad you did. We got a great show. We're going to talk about how you manipulate currencies, specifically China. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchase high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at, it's 3:32 p.m. Pacific time. Currently 80 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, we're waiting. We're going to be another minute or so before we connect with John Matthews and Joe Hakos at the Conservative Syndicate corner. And today, John has me wanting to talk about the manipulation or currency manipulation in how it affects what's going on, and specifically how that relates to China. And we're going to be doing that. We're going to do a simulcast, so we'll not only be with all of our stations and all of our listeners here on Robert Cardoza Live, but we're going to be with all of John's listeners on his program as well. So we're going to be really manipulating this thing and taking it a long, long way. It's going to be an exciting thing. Last week was the first time we tried it. Not last week. This week on Monday is when we did our first simulcast, and then today it wound up being the second one. We're excited about it. It's good stuff. We're happy about it, and John will be calling in about 1 minute or so if he's on time. If he's not, what the heck's going on? But hopefully you'll enjoy what we're going to be talking about, and that's the currency manipulation. People have a misconception about what this is all about, and so John has asked me to talk about it a little bit. I'm going to, and we're going to make this thing really white. While I'm thinking about it, while we're waiting for John, we had to talk about Paris and the 26 people that have died. You know what? Something dramatic, something drastic has to happen with regard to these terrorists. We can't allow this horrible situation to continue. We need to make the penalty for these guys worse than the benefit for these guys. And that's exactly what's going on right now. So I'm a little tired of it, and I hope that you are too. That's kind of where I'm feeling from it. It's just not good. It doesn't make any sense at all. I don't care if you're a conservative or a liberal or what you are. And now we are with our own John Matthews. Well, we were with John. I think he just hung up on me. I don't know what happened. So let's try and get back to him. Hey, John, you there? Hey, John, you there? Hey, John, you there? Well, we did have him. I don't know what happened to him. Let's see if we can get him back here. Or try anyway. Come on, John. You hung up on me, buddy. There we go. Okay, John, are you with me?
With my good buddy here, Joe, on hold. There he is, right there. Okay, so we have Bob Cardoza with us from Robert Cardoza Live. I know he's doing his live show right now. We tried this beginning of the week, and we're going to do it again today. We're doing 2 simulcasts right now. How are you doing, Bob?
I'm doing good, John. Now that I've got you on the line, I tried to answer the phone, and then all of a sudden, I think your buddy Joe Hako's hung up on me because he knows we're going to talk about money.
I hung up on you because I thought I had the wrong number to do that. So anyway, we're in light of what's going on over in Paris right now, we just kind of got a little bit sidetracked today with what we were going to do. What are you hearing on your side as far as the Paris situation?
Well, you know what? It seems like there's no question that this is a terrorist act. 26 people dead. It looks like it's an act against America, as it was an American band that was playing in that nightclub, and then of course the explosion there at McDonald's. And there's no question that what we need to do as a country, what we need to do as a world, is take drastic measures against terrorists, period. And we happen to know in this particular case, it appears that ISIS is taking the credit for the lack of a better term, calling it credit, is the one that they're admitting that they're the ones that caused this issue.
Well, what we were talking about, Joe and I were talking about here, is the situation this morning. Barack Obama's on Good Morning America telling everybody how they have decapitated ISIS now. They once again, they have everything under control. And lo and behold, something like this happens. And Obama's out here, I think he's like one of these guys that show up on the scene of the crime after everything's over and then tells you how to fix it. The idea that we've stopped the inflow of terrorists going into Iraq and stuff like that. When the war is not being fought in Iraq, the war is being fought right now over in Paris.
You know what? Yeah, you know what, John, you're absolutely right. And the thing that is really sad is I keep thinking to myself, what happens if Obama's advisors happen to hand him yesterday's breakfast list? Is that how he's going to explain cutting off the head of ISIS? I mean, there's no question that they're still effective, because look what they're doing.
Well, so once again here, and I was also talking about the cynicism. I'm so cynical here because the response from the White House, it's so predictable. It's all about, our hearts go out. We're sorry. This is not just an attack on French. This is an attack on America. We're going to do everything we can do to bring these people to justice. And you're just sitting there going, in my mind, I'm going, blah, 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 blah. So what?
You're absolutely right, John. I want to tell you what, time for talk is done. Time for action is here. And we haven't had any action for the last 8 years. It's about time that we went in there and showed the world that we are in control. We are the strongest military country in the world, and go in there. And are we going to really let 40 or 50,000 ISIS militant terrorists control this world? I can't believe we're letting it even go this far.
Well, it certainly seems that's been the pattern. We were talking about just the idea of terror. The idea is to strike terror into the hearts of people. That's what terrorism is. That's why they call it that. And just to have all this. Well, you had talked about, I believe you had mentioned on Monday, and if not, maybe the week before, when we were talking about the situation over in Syria.
Yeah.
And now it seems to me that the entire attention to what's going on right now, we don't know if these people, as this plays out, what if these people that have performed these acts today were people that came through the Syrian refugee pipeline?
Sure.
And what does that say for the rest of the world, where everybody's picking these people up, and we got about 100,000 of them due to come over here?
Yeah. You know what? I just don't understand what's going on. The more this happens, and and I'm sure you're going to laugh at me, the more supportive I am of Donald Trump. I don't think any of this could possibly happen under a President Trump.
Why is that, Bob? Why do you say such a thing?
Because I think he'd go in there and kick ass. He's not going to let anybody spit on us, step on us, or manipulate us.
Yeah, well, it just seems to me like it'd be time to some vigilante group needs to put themselves together. So let's send some militia people over there or something. Let's send some retired SEALs.
Oh yeah, from your lips to God's ears. That would be a whole lot better. I mean, think about this, Joe. What the heck are 50 guys going to do for us on the ground? If the truth is, if what we're hearing is the truth, that there's only 40 or 50,000 of these ISIS members out there, and we knock off a couple thousand of them every month, but they get another 2,500 or so in recruiting. The truth is, what are we doing sending 55 guys in there? Why aren't we sending 150,000 guys in there and just clean house?
Right. Yeah. Any comment, Joe?
We don't have the political will. We don't have the guy in the White House to do that. That's why it's not happening. And until we get we should change the scenery in the White House. This is the kind of crap that's going to go on. This is the kind of stuff that's going to go on right now. I mean, the French are finally, his president in France finally came out and said, you know what, we're going to close our border now. Little late there, buddy.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, we're not going to let people out now. Now everybody's in. Now, yeah, we're going to close the border now to keep everybody in.
Well, the other scary part about this, if we as a nation don't take care of this in Syria and in Iraq and in off of our shores, then it's going to happen right here in America. If we don't do something about it now, this is where they want to come. We're the ones that they want to kill.
You better be careful, Bob. You're going to start to sound like me, and that's going to be a bad thing for you.
Well, you know what? Hey, listen, I love you, buddy. You want to get married?
No, I don't go that way. Sorry, bud. Besides that, my wife would probably get upset with me.
Yeah, my you know what? You and me both. I chased my wife till she finally caught me.
We call that gender studies now.
Well, you know what? Speaking of gender studies, and I'm really upset about what's going on with this terrorism thing. But what are you thinking about what took place at the University of Missouri? I mean, I'm sitting here thinking we're a country that we're supposed to have free speech, and now we got to watch out what we say that might offend a minority. What the heck's going on here?
No, I think it's even more comical than that. The idea that now we got to worry about what we dress up for at Halloween.
Yeah. Yeah. This is crazy stuff. I mean, when I went to college, when you guys went to college, wasn't it about freedom and to learn about expression and freedom of speech and gosh, I mean, what happened? When did this happen?
That's it. What show are you on? Because you're offending me. What's the name of that show you have?
Equality for all, freedom of speech and expression.
You're offending me. That's that Robert Cardoza live. Yeah, you better. He's offending people right now.
You know what? Well, no, I can't say that because Donald Trump got in trouble for saying that. But tough something.
Well, I do know one thing. We've been talking about this Missouri thing and the Yale and that filtering down into high school. So we were just talking this morning. An 8-year-old making the headline news for writing some paper on being treated as racial comments being made to him on the school bus and everything else. I'm saying, you know what? Send the kid to Washington, teach him how to make a clock, and let Bill Gates give him a computer. Shut up. But,
you know what? They forget what it was like for you and me, Joe. Here's the thing, or John. When you and I were young, we had to walk 3 miles uphill both ways in the snow to go to school.
Well, I didn't have to walk in the snow, but I did have to walk for 3 miles.
In both directions, right? And uphill in both directions.
We had to walk in, you and I had to walk to school in storm watch. Got a quarter-inch of drizzle and storm watch.
I just, on a more serious point, there's nothing more serious. But you know what? You and I were actually, and I'm pretty sure Joe too, were actually raised in a much better world than we have today. And I'm ashamed of the legacy that I have to leave for my children and my grandchildren, and my great-grandchildren. Too bad they couldn't have lived in the world that I was raised in.
Oh, I know, and especially when we talk about this racial epithet stuff, you know. And when I was in school, if you called somebody a derogatory term, one of two things happened: you both laughed about it, or you faced off and somebody walked away. You know, it's like, but this whole idea that we got to change everything. Anyway, we got to go to a break. When we come back, we'll continue our discussion here with Bob Cardoza from Robert Cardoza Live. Don't go away, guys. We'll be back.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses: website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful in visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino.